Hey there, this is Dave Hompes from H-pylori A short video now just to talk to you about how heartburn and gastroesophageal reflux disease can actually be caused by an overgrowth of unwanted microbes in your digestive system. Now, when I had heartburn and acid reflux, which was going back several years now, I actually was diagnosed with a microbe called Helicobacter pylori, or H. pylori for short. And my website is dedicated to H. pylori and all the different symptoms that it can cause in the digestive system and in the body in general. So H. pylori is well known by the medical establishment for causing gastritis, which is inflammation in the stomach. It can also cause stomach ulcers as well. But it's the redness and the rawness and the tenderness in the stomach that tend to create the heartburn and acid reflux type symptoms when people have H. pylori. But H. pylori is not the only chronic infection or bacterial overgrowth that can cause problems. One of the things that H. pylori does is it reduces the amount of stomach acid that is produced when we eat meals. When the stomach acid levels drop too low, it opens up the opportunity for other opportunistic organisms to start to get through the stomach and into the intestine and begin to overgrow. And these other organisms include different kinds of bacteria. Even some of the good bacteria that you have in your gut can start to overgrow in the wrong place. Candida, which is a yeast and fungal organism, and that can overgrow very readily when the stomach acid levels drop too low, or when you're under stress, or when you've taken things like antibiotics and various other medications. Candida also proliferates if you're eating a high carbohydrate and high starch diet, particularly if the carbohydrates are of a very processed nature, rather than sort of naturally occurring carbohydrates that you would see in, for example, root vegetables and fruit. Parasites can also infect the digestive system, and they can also create situations where the small intestine is inflamed and damaged, and that can create symptoms that reflect or masquerade heartburn and gastroesophageal reflux disease as well. Some of the common culprits in terms of parasites include Giardia, Cryptosporidium, and there's a little worm called strongyloids, which often mimics ulcer disease, which creates heartburn and burning sensation and pain in the upper gastrointestinal tract. Now, I want to just return to small intestinal bacterial overgrowth and also to Candida as well, because if the stomach acid has dropped too low, which itself can create heartburn and acid reflux, you end up in a situation where you can't digest your food properly. So not only do you have all these different bugs overgrowing in your digestive system, but you can't digest the food. Now, any food that you don't digest properly becomes a potential food and fuel source for the bad bugs. So let's say for a moment that you have a ton of Candida or small intestinal bacterial overgrowth going on in the upper part of your intestine. And then you're eating a high carbohydrate diet, for example. If you don't digest those carbohydrates, they pass into your small intestine and the microbes start to ferment them. And when you get this fermentation, it produces gas. The gas makes you bloated, it blows you up like a balloon, and the pressure increases in your abdomen and your thorax, and it pushes everything upwards. And that upwards momentum caused by all the gas that's being produced by these microbes can actually cause heartburn and acid reflux as well. In the majority of heartburn and acid reflux cases, we find that the stomach acid levels are too low. So when the doctors administer medications to bring down the acid levels even further, we actually end up in a situation where we're worsening the problem rather than making it better. So when we shut the acid down, whether that's happening because we're just generally unhealthy or we have H. pylori, or whether it's happening because the pharmaceuticals we're given to treat heartburn are knocking the acid levels down, we open ourselves up for all these other microbes, for the fermentation, for the increased bloating and gas, and for the increased intra-abdominal pressure, which then creates more heartburn. And so the treatment can actually make matters much worse if you're not careful. Now, you might be wondering, well, how on earth then do I figure out exactly what's causing my heartburn? You know, because maybe I have a suspicion that there's something not quite right in my digestive system. I have a feeling that there might be something living in there that shouldn't really be there. Well, you can go to your doctor and ask for an H. pylori test, And they'll generally give you an H-pylori test if your symptoms are worthy of such, if your symptoms are pretty bad and you explain to the doctor that you're really in a lot of discomfort. The problem is that they will not tend to test for Candida, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, and parasites. Because unfortunately, still in the medical system, the belief is that heartburn and acid reflux are caused by too much acid. So why on earth would they want to test you for a whole bunch of bugs that are living in your digestive system? Fortunately, there are private tests. We've actually tested more than 2,000 people from around the world and found all of these different chronic bad bug infections over the years. And when we help people get rid of these bad bugs, they tend to feel a lot better relatively quickly. And you can access the same kinds of tests, basically a stool test or a urine test. The test kits are actually sent to your home. You complete your stool sample or your urine sample in the comfort of your own home. You don't need to go for a clinic visit, do anything embarrassing. You send the test kit back to the lab. The lab analyzes for a huge spectrum of different bad bugs, as well as whether you're digesting your food properly, how strong your immune system is, and other very important digestive markers as well. The results are sent to you on a PDF document. You can see exactly what's going on, why you're not feeling well, and then we can help you take the action steps that you need to take in order to feel better again. Now, if you'd like further information about that, we'd love to help you. The website is H-pylorisymptoms.com, and we have a ton of free information on there, as well as a number of little self-help booklets and ebooks and online programs. And I'd love to be able to help you with some of the resources that we've created. I hope this video has been really helpful for you. I hope it's dispelled the myth of the high acid factor causing heartburn and GERD, acid reflux. And I hope you're really aware now of some of the reasons why, despite changing your diet, despite using medical drugs and what have you to try and treat your symptoms, you may not be feeling any better. My name is Dave Hompes. Thanks so much for watching this video, and I will catch you very soon.